Welcome, everybody.
Hey, hey. Good boy, Tucker.
Work smarter where you want.
This is learning at its most fun.
Welcome, everybody, to another Thursday webinar. My name is Curtis. I'm one of the trainers here at Redtail, and today's topic is going to be covering Redtail Essentials accounts. Now, Redtail CRM is a great place to store all of your contact information about what you're going to be doing with your contacts, all of your notes, everything you've done to have that history in your CRM. But another thing you can do is actually add on the ability to have accounts in the individual contact records. So what we're going to be covering today is the few different ways you can actually get accounts into the contact records and link them up, and what your options are. After that, we're going to dive into showing different reporting, as well as just where all you can view the accounts and how you can even search and group by the accounts in the CRM tool itself. So with that, I'm actually going to go to the next slide here. And we're going to talk about how you actually get accounts into the database. And there are two ways. So you can either get accounts with a data feed, or you can have accounts manually entered. The first option in regards to a data feed, you actually have to use one of our integration partners. So whether it's an aggregator or a custodian, we do work with a lot of different partners where they can actually feed the accounts over on a daily basis. These are companies like Albridge, Fidelity, TDA. There's quite a few. Even with certain integration like broker dealers that we have with like LPL has ClientWorks can send information over, or even different custodians like Schwab. There's a lot of different companies that do integrate with Redtail, and I will show you where that list is as well. But if you have one of those companies you work with, you can link it up to your Redtail account. So that way, what Redtail receives is going to be the account number, the tax ID of the contact record, and the asset balance, which will update daily. So those are really the three only points of data that we can guarantee that come over from those feeds. But again, this is a great way so you can actually have the closing balance of the day before populated in your Redtail database so you can see where your clients are. The other option is going to be to manually enter the accounts. Now, this is normally used for if you want to add an insurance account or like a held away account, an account that actually can't come from one of our integration partners, but you want to still list it into the record. Now, anything that you do add as a manual account, if you do need the update, the balances to be updated, you do have to do that manually. And so I will definitely show you how both of those work, but they all show in the one same location of actually showing in the accounts of each individual contact. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip over to the CRM here. And so the first thing I want to talk about is the account feed. So if you're not sure what feeds into Redtail, what's available, one of the best places to go is our Redtail help desk. And so from here, you go to the question mark in the top right-hand corner, and then we can select Redtail Help Desk right here. And it's going to take us to where we have our training video. So where all of like the Thursday webinars, like I mentioned, will get posted right into this section. Or we also have the Redtail CRM section where it has a lot of documentation. When you go into the CRM section, you can actually scroll down, and then we do have a whole page on documentation on how to deal with accounts. But you can also come down and see that we have our integration partners are listed. And when you open up the integration partners, this is actually going to be where we actually have portfolio management and custodians. So when I actually click this under our integration partners on our help desk and click portfolio management, this is a list of all of the different companies that can feed account information over to the database. So you'll see it's quite a long list. And if you're not sure how to set up any of these, you could easily click on just if I click on Fidelity, and it'll take me to the specific account information or the setup on how to get that integration set up. Now, after the integration does get set up, we will send instructions on how to deal with that information after, as well as I'm going to be showing you how to do that in today's webinar. So again, if you're not sure what partners or integrations that we have that can feed over information, you want to go to the help desk, and you can just search integration partners in the help desk, and it'll bring you to this page. Now, once you do have the actual integration set up, whether it's an aggregator or a custodian, you're going to start to see the AUM on the main page start to populate. Once you click on that, if I actually click on the AUM, if there are accounts that are feeding over and they're not linked up with the contact record, I can actually come over here to the unlinked accounts section. Now, the unlinked accounts means this is a list of accounts that's being fed over from an integration partner. And these are just the accounts that don't know where to go yet. Now, they will send the tax ID number of the contact record, and you can actually see it right here. Like, this is the tax ID number that's supposed to link up with a specific contact in my database. I can actually come over here to the left-hand side, and I can choose to individually link this account to whatever contact I specify. Now, that's a lot of manual work if you have a long list of accounts, but we do have an easy way of doing this. The best way, for instance, and if I just refresh this page, you're going to notice on this list, if there's a little red asterisk, so right here, this tax ID number has a little red asterisk next to it. And what that means is that this account actually sees a contact record in my database that has a matching tax ID number. So again, as long as your tax ID numbers are in your contact records, you're going to see a red asterisk next to all of the accounts here. And the good news about that is if I see that red asterisk, all I have to do is just hit run auto link, and it's going to automatically attach that account to the appropriate contact record based on that tax ID. So again, all you have to do is make sure that you hit run auto link, and this is going to attach itself to those contact records. If you don't have the tax IDs in your contact records in Redtail, then the feed is actually not going to know where to send the appropriate contacts. But again, all you have to do is go into the contact, fill out the tax ID, and hit run auto link, and then those accounts will be attached to the contact and update from there. Let's actually dive into a contact record. So I'm going to go into, we'll use Kevin Arnold as our example. And in Kevin's record, if I go to the left-hand side and click on accounts, it's going to take me and show me all of the accounts that are set up in his database. Now, I see he has quite a few accounts here. We're actually going to look right here where it says linked account. If you have a flag on this account that actually says linked account, that means it is coming from one of our integration partners. So this account's balance is being updated on a daily basis based off of an integration feed. If it doesn't have the linked account flag, like these two right here, it means that that was a manual account. So if you do need to add manual accounts, you can easily just come over to the right-hand side and hit add account to actually create the shell of the account so you can list it in the contacts record. So again, from the main contacts page on their accounts tab, you can actually see if an account is being fed in through an integration or if it was manually added. If I click on one of the integration accounts, so if I click on this number and go inside the account, you're going to see that I see all the account assets. This is one thing that you cannot update. So the account assets will be updated through the integration. You cannot add to this list and you cannot edit these assets. These are directly coming from the integration. But if I go back to the accounts page, and if I open up this account right here that's not linked, actually, sorry, this one right here that is not linked, you'll notice that I have an account asset section, and now I can actually choose to add to this account. So that's how I can actually populate a balance in a manually added account. Okay, so keep in mind, there is a difference between manually added and linked, but they all will show on the same page of the accounts tab in each individual contact. Now, once you add an account by choosing the add account button to add manually, you can fill out the account number, you can fill out the company, the product. We even have an option for the account type. And so the account type is a pretty long list. I do like to point out that if there's an account type that is not in your database and you want to add it, you can definitely add to this list in the manage database list section of your database. So real fast, we're going to sidestep. I'm going to show you how to do that in regards to, this is the account type when creating a manual account. Now, the company and product are free-form text, so you can fill out whatever you want there, but the type has to be selected from an actual drop-down. So again, let's sidestep. We're actually going to go to our name in the top right-hand corner, then choose Manage Your Account. We're going to scroll down to the bottom to the section that says Admins Only, and then I can click Manage Database Lists. Once I click that, you're going to see the first list I see is actually account types. And I can actually see that same thing on the right-hand side. I have 4 different types of lists I can customize for my accounts. the first one being account types. If you want to add to that list, all you have to do is hit add in the top right, and you can type in whatever account type you want. So that's going to be really beneficial in regards to searching and as well as reporting on your accounts, is to make sure that you have the account type selected. Now, if I jump back, we're going to use the recently viewed and go back to Kevin's record. And if I come over and click on accounts one more time, you can actually change the account type for any of the Fed accounts. So because we can only feed the account or guarantee the account number, the tax ID number, and the balance, not always do the account types come over with that feed. So if you do need to update that, you can click on the account, you can scroll down past the assets, and you can edit the basic information of that account. You'll see down here that it's telling you this is a linked account and it's being connected to something that's feeding in, but I can change any of this information. So if you do need to change it over, you can change the account type, and that's going to make it so you can report specifically on certain types of accounts. All right. So one more time, in regards to manually added accounts, after you create the shell and you open up the account, you can actually give it a balance by going into the account assets and hitting add on the right hand side. You can give it an asset name. And if it's an insurance account, now we don't really have a direct way to add just a balance for insurance accounts. This really depends on if you want the balance of this account to affect the AUM or the portfolio of the contact. All you have to do is really just put in one share and then put in the price in this box of what you want it to reflect. If you don't want it to reflect in the balance of the account, so affecting the AUM, there are other places inside the account you can put value. So for instance, if I scroll down under general information, you'll see I can place a cash value, face value, surrender. There's even like loan and asset rebalance information. You can fill out that information. Again, this is just all manually added information. So I can edit this and fill out. But again, these values will not affect the actual portfolio balance of any account. The only time this gets affected is if it's under account assets. All right. So let's talk a little bit on reporting on those accounts as well. So if I set up different account types, set up different companies, products, all that information in the accounts is searchable. So if I do want to run a search, I can click on contacts on the left-hand side. Then from here, with the advanced search tab, I can click the type, and you'll see I can either search on the account or the account asset. If I choose account, I can actually choose different field types. And you'll see there's quite a few field types I can search by. In this case, I'm going to just choose account type again. And I can say equal to, and then it shows me that whole list of account types again. So if I actually just want to say, show me every single account type, or actually every single contact who has an account with the type of index life, I can run that search and it brings up the contacts who have an account type with that filled out. So you can actually run different searches. And again, a search is always going to bring up a list of contacts. If I actually want to get a list of accounts instead of contacts, then I want to actually run a report. Now, reports are ran by going over to the left-hand side and clicking on reports. And from here, you'll see I have the section called account reports. There's a lot of different ways I can actually narrow down these accounts. My suggested way is the one that says accounts by contact. This is just a general report. And even the accounts by contact report is actually going to give you a few more options than the other ones. So again, going to accounts by contact, it'll then run a general report. But if I want to control the information that this is showing me, I can go to filter in the top right-hand corner. And then from here, I can narrow down, show me any accounts with a specific company, product, or type. I can even narrow down whether it's held away, where the account source came from. There's a lot of information I can narrow down by. So again, if I just want to say, show me, anything that's marked, as an annuity, I can narrow down to just that account type, and it brings up just those accounts. So again, this is not the contact record now. This is showing me the accounts. Also from this page, I have the ability to make bulk changes to the accounts that are in here. So if I need to change something in both of these accounts, I can select the checkbox on the left and then use account options in the top right to change a field. And so when I change a field, I can actually come through and say, okay, I want to change their account type to something else. Or you can change the manager, the status. There's a lot of different things you can actually change in bulk. Now, again, to get to that option, you'll go to reports on the left-hand side. Then under account reports, you'll choose accounts by contact. And again, once you decide what you want to look for by using the filter in the top right-hand corner, you can then find those accounts, select them on the left-hand side, and then you can use the account options in the top right to make any bulk changes to those accounts. So this is a great way, like after the accounts start feeding in, you can actually come over and start selecting them in bulk to changing the account type so you don't have to go one by one. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about what you can add that can be attached to an account. So we have notes and activities as well. Anytime I add a note, if I come up to the plus sign in the top right-hand corner and then click notes, if I'm not in a contact record, what's most important is that I link a note to a contact. So if I start typing in Kevin's name and select him, it's now going to give me the option down here where it says accounts that are all of his accounts. So if I'm making a note and that note was about a specific account or a few, I can mark which accounts I was talking about. I can make the note. So I can say, updated Kevin on accounts. Will be super general here. If I make that note and I save that, the benefit of linking it to an account means that note is also going to show in the account itself. So if I use my recently viewed, go into Kevin's record, I can actually see on his latest note, here's the note I just made, and it actually tells me it's linked to two different accounts. I can open that up and I can see both of those accounts right from here. I'll click on one of them to go into it. If you are inside the account and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, so if I scroll all the way down to the bottom of this account, I'm going to see over here under other, I actually have the notes and I see there's one note that's attached to this account. So I can actually open it up and I can see the same note that I made that's attached to this account. So anything you tie to an account, regardless of a note or even an activity, will show inside the account as well as on the main contact record. Same thing goes for when you actually are adding activities. If I have this activity to call Kevin, I can open it up. Inside the activity on the right-hand side, I have the linked account section here. So same concept with notes. If I add an account to it, it's going to link it into the actual account as well, so I can easily reference it. And again, you can add multiple accounts. You can select them from the drop-down and they will show. And then once I update, same thing goes for that. So now on this call Kevin activity, if I go into either of those accounts and I can actually click on them from here, I can go into the account, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see that there's 4 activities that this account is tied to. And I can click on it and I can see that there's one open activity. And if I hit show completed, here's the 3 activities that have been completed in the past that were also tied to the same account. So again, I can also click back to show pending. And it's again, everything is linking back, but also linking back to the main contact record.
Thanks so much for joining us today for this particular session. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 800-206-5030, option 3 for support, or just shoot us an email over to support@redtailtechnology.com. Thanks a lot and have a great day.